The QuiltSandwich app makes it so easy for you to carry your fabric stash with you. I don't need to worry about swatches of fabric getting lost in my purse or my pockets, or forgetting to bring my fabric swatches with me. If I've got my phone, I've got my fabric stash. I'm showing you how the fabric stash functions work in QuiltSandwich using my iPad, but the functionality is the same on your iPhone. Tap the green fabric stash button, and there you will be taken to the fabric stash. You can see that I have 13 fabrics in my stash. I can add a new fabric, I can compare fabrics side by side, or I can edit a fabric. Let me show you how easy it is to add a new fabric to the fabric stash. Just tap Add New Fabric. I can snap a picture, I can pull in a picture from my camera roll or my photo library, or I can pull in an image that I have already stored within the QuiltSandwich app. I'm going to snap a picture. So here I've got this really great yellow-orange polka dot, so I'm going to take my picture and I'm going to use my photo. I can retake it if I don't like it. And now I can see a picture of my fabric. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And now you can see that my fabric is saved to my fabric stash, but I don't have any details associated with it. So over on the right-hand side of the screen, I can go ahead and tap Edit, and I can put in the name of my fabric, which is yellow-orange dot. And it cost me $9.50 a yard, and I did buy yard goods, and I bought 2.5 yards. It's not a one-way design. If it was, I could go ahead and notate that on my fabric so that when the yardage calculator gets ready to use that fabric, it will know that. And I'm going to use a standard 10% allowance, which adds 3 5/8 inches per yard within my yardage calculation for squaring up or shrink it. So I'm going to go ahead and save that information. And now I have my yellow-orange dot fabric saved to my fabric stash. Now, let's say that I want to compare my fabric side by side. So let's tap that green button. And now I can compare my yellow-orange dot to the navy blue. I can compare it to my yellow plaid, the blue, the dark blue, my turquoise, and I can check my fabric purchases as I'm in the store against fabrics that I may have at home in my fabric stash. The other thing that is so easy to do within Fabric Stash is you can tap and move your fabrics to be in any particular order that you want. So if there's 2 that you want to quickly compare side by side, I think I want to compare this yellow and this purple, where we can see that it's right next to the purple fabric. So it's pretty easy to get an understanding of how fabrics can work together in a general way using Fabric Stash. Now, if I need to delete a fabric, I'm going to tap on Edit, and you'll see that red trash can, and to delete a fabric, just tap in the middle of the white box. It'll put in a red check mark, and I can tap Delete, and now the fabric will be deleted and all of the fabrics will be removed from the quilts that it was used in. So the Fabric Stash keeps track of where you use your fabrics as well in your various projects. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. The other thing that I wanted to show you with Edit is that you can look at your fabrics from a couple of different ways. You'll see that the green used words are highlighted, and then there's a number in the white box. That tells you the number of times that a fabric has been used throughout all of your projects. You can also look at your fabrics by how wide they are, and you can take a look at that third one in the top row, and I've got a fat quarter. So it knows whether or not it's yard goods or fat quarters. If I want to look at a particular price of a fabric, I can do that, or I can also look at the original starting amount of what I originally purchased. You can see that some of the fabrics are marked 0 because those came in with the demonstration quilt that comes with the app Jewel Box Quilt. Or it could be that you never assigned the number of yards into the Fabric Stash as well. So how much information you put in is totally up to you. The app doesn't make you put in any information that you don't think is important. So not only can you see fabrics in your entire stash, but you can also see fabrics that are associated with a particular quilt. So I'm going to go to Quilts, and I see Jewel Box Quilt listed, and I'm curious as to what fabrics are in use in Jewel Box Quilt. So I'm going to tap Jewel Box Quilt, and there you can see the fabrics that are associated with this project. You can compare fabrics just like you could before in the fabric stash, and you can add new fabrics as well. One thing I want to make sure that I tell you is on the iPhone, to get back to your fabrics or back to your quilt when you're in Compare Fabric, just tap the green Fabrics button at the bottom of your screen so you can get back to your fabric stash or the quilt that you are working on. Because of the limitation of the size of the phone screen, we wanted to give you as big of a fabric swatch as we could. So just tap on that green Fabrics button at the bottom of your screen and you'll be taken back to where you started from. So the fabric stash is a great way for you to carry your fabrics with you in the palm of your hand, and as long as you've got it loaded, you don't have to worry about whether or not you've got your fabrics with you. As long as you've got your phone or your iPad, you are good to go. If you have any questions about fabric stash or the Quilt Sandwich app, please go to our website, quiltsandwichapp.com, and send us an email.